Hey everybody, my name is Brandon. Welcome back to Cinefessions, where we talk all things media, and today we are talking books. Specifically, a stack of media tie-ins slash novelizations that I found recently. I think I have just shy of a dozen here, so let's do this. Before we do though, if you have a quick second, go and hit that like button down below if you like these types of videos. But with that said, let's not waste any more time at all. Let's dive right into my latest media tie-in book haul. So this first one is a little bit of a cheat because it's not actually media tie-in, but it is a book about film, specifically film criticism. This is Talking Pictures, How to Watch Movies, written by Ann Hornaday, who is a film critic. So this is one that I've heard about quite a while ago now, and it's supposed to be a really interesting book about how to kind of watch a movie critically and talk about it critically. As someone who makes YouTube videos, some of which are movie reviews, and I've been doing that for quite a long time now, almost 10 years, I guess. I've been reviewing movies in one form or another. I figured, you know what? This would be a great book for me. Maybe give me a deeper look into the craft of reviewing film. So I figured, yeah, pick this one up. It's been in my Amazon cart for a long time, but I actually went to Second and Charles and I found it there for super cheap. So I got really lucky. Was very happy to find this one. This is definitely a book I hope to read in 2024 because again, just anything I can do to get better at reviewing movies or looking at movies critically, I'm interested in. So hopefully this one will help me, improve on the reviews that I do here on the channel. So the first one today, not media tie-in, but it's still kind of fit. So this is Talking Pictures, How to Watch Movies by Ann Hornaday. So looking at the books I have today, I guess there's different categories. The first one was nonfiction. I have manga, then middle grade, and then just standard adult. So I'll do manga next. And I do get comments every once in a while asking me, why did I stop reading One Piece? Why do I not do any more manga content on the channel? And I totally get and respect that. I had all intention of continuing through One Piece after I read that last arc that I read, but I never sat back down to do it. And it's been well over a year. I feel like maybe even a year and a half now since I've read that. And honestly, I just have very little desire to go back to it at this point. So I just don't see that being a thing. Plus, the manga crowd is very diehard in what they're looking for. And so that's just not what my channel is. And so I just don't talk about manga nearly as much as I used to. Definitely more focused on books and movies more than anything else here on the channel. So anyway, all of that said, if you don't, if you're here for manga content, unfortunately, that's just not something I see myself making a lot of in the future. Never say never. I'm always up for kind of just filming whatever it is that I'm doing. And so if I do start reading something manga related, I'll probably film it and talk about it. But don't hold your breath. Don't subscribe because of manga content. Subscribe because of the other content that I talk about. Anyway, all of that just to kind of address those comments, number one, and number two, to lead into a couple different manga that I happen to find recently. I actually got both of these from my local used bookstore, but I was able to find The Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time, Part 1 and Part 2, and these are written by Akira Himakawa. So these are exactly what they sound like. They are manga adaptations of the infamous Ocarina of Time video game for the Nintendo 64. Now, Zelda is not a game that I've spent a lot of time with through any of its iterations. I think the one I played most was Twilight Princess. When the Wii released, I picked that one up, and I really enjoyed it. And so I've always wanted to go back and play. You know what? I have played the original quite a lot. At one point, I was trying to beat that game by following a guide on YouTube. I never ended up doing that, but it was fun. That said, I have not played the N64 games, which I know are often considered the best. That one and A Link to the Past. But anyway, I want to read these, and maybe I will get into the game after that, or I can read these instead of playing the game. I don't know. But yeah, they just look pretty cool, and they were really cheap. I have a bunch of credit at my used bookstore, so I figured I would pick both of these up. Hopefully, they'll be enjoyable. Let me just give a glimpse on the inside so you can see kind of that art style there. But yeah, should be fun. You know, I enjoy manga when I sit down and read it. It doesn't happen as often as I'd like, which is why I've kind of stopped doing a lot of manga content. But yeah, I believe this is the entire story of Ocarina of Time. At least I believe it is. That might be wrong, but I think there's only the 2 parts here. But yeah, either way, I thought these were pretty cool finds from my local bookstore. So this is The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, Part 1 and Part 2. And those are the only manga I've picked up recently. All right, let's move over to some middle grade media tie-ins. And this first one here, also from my used bookstore near me. This is just really cool. I wish I had book 1, but unfortunately I don't. This is Garfield's Pet Force, book 2, Pirate's Revenge by Jim Davis. So this is fascinating to me. Open it up. This is a narrative written story as opposed to a comic, which is what you would normally expect from Garfield. And I looked at the date before, but it's been a while. I don't remember. Let me see. 1997 is the publication year on this. Like, this is fascinating to me. I was very disappointed that my bookstore didn't have volume 1 or book 1, but that's all right. I had to grab this. This was like 50% off the day I got it. So I ended up paying, actually, no, it was $2, but I get half off that. So I paid $1 for this. So really good deal. Like, just a really cool, like, ad for the collection. I'm sure it's going to be a lot of fun. And that cover is just gorgeous. I love it. So yeah, this will be really cool when I get around to it. This is Garfield's Pet Force, book 2, Pirate's Revenge. Here is another one, also from 1997, and I actually first discovered that this middle grade series existed when I was like training for my new job that I had a year and a half ago now, and I was in San Antonio, Texas, and there were a bunch of half-price books there, and I found a bunch of these, but I had very limited space, so I decided on passing on those, but I found it at my bookstore. I had to grab it. This is The Outer Limits, The Zanty Misfits. And I believe, yeah, this is book number 1 of this series, written by John Peel. So this is just really cool to me. I am a huge Twilight Zone fan. Outer Limits, I've not spent nearly as much time with. I have seen a couple episodes and they're good, but I just haven't spent a lot of time with it. I actually own on DVD, thanks to my inherited movies, I own like 3 or 4 of the collections of the like 90s version of Outer Limits. So I need to get around to watching those. But yeah, I mean, this is just super cool. So it says, welcome to Reform School Alien Style. Do not attempt to adjust your brain. I mean, this is exactly the type of thing I love. Middle grade sci-fi from the 90s. Yes, please. So The Outer Limits, book number 1, The Zanty Misfits by John Peel. Here is a really cool novelization that is a handful of years older. From 1992, we have Aladdin. This is written by A.L. Singer, so of course based on the Disney movie, and I love this. You can see in the middle there are pictures. Now, Aladdin is a movie that the first time I watched it, I didn't really get the hype. Like, I wasn't a huge fan of it, but ever since then, I've really enjoyed it. I think I actually watched the live action remake that they did, and I loved it. I thought it was phenomenal. And then I ended up going back to the animated movie, which actually my wife had it on just a few days ago now that I think about it. And I went back to the animated movie and really enjoyed it my next time through. So I love this one. Such a great film. And this book is awesome to have. Not in the best shape, but like given that this is from 1992, it's pretty darn cool. So the last of the middle grade here is Aladdin by A.L. Singer. All right, let's jump over to the adult titles I found. And the first one here is from one of my favorite authors who actually happens to be a viewer of the channel, which is just still blows my mind, but I love it. This is Max Allan Collins' Dark Angel, The Dawn Before, or The Before Dawn. I guess I don't know what it is. I can't tell the way it's putting on there. Before the Dawn. I'm just dumb. It's Before the Dawn. Of course it is. Anyway, this is, of course, like the prequel to the Dark Angel series, which honestly, I have never watched at all. I know very little about it. Like, I recognize the characters and the show itself, but I've never spent any time with it. But it looks like it's a futuristic story set in Los Angeles, 2019. Like, that is awesome. Let me see what year this one was, just out of curiosity. 2002. So yeah, about 17 years in the future, but this is really cool. So my thought is I'll read this and then maybe I'll get into the Dark Angel franchise. Hopefully I can find it. Actually, right after I bought this, I tried finding the series on DVD. kind of expensive from what I remember. And so hopefully, and it's not streaming anywhere either, which is probably why the physical discs are a little bit more expensive. But hopefully one day it'll be streaming, or I'll be able to find the discs cheap at Disc Replay. But this is really cool. And again, Max Allan Collins is one of my all-time favorites. So I was very happy to find this. And anytime I can add a book of his to my collection, I'm absolutely taking advantage. So the prequel to Dark Angel Before the Dawn by Max Allan Collins. Speaking of excellent novelization authors, we have an Alan Dean Foster one here, and I was so stoked when I found this, I can't even tell you. Honestly, I was shocked. Like, I never thought I'd find this, but I was able to find Dark Star by Alan Dean Foster. This is amazing. Of course, the original script, Dan O'Bannon, John Carpenter directed his first feature film. Just an amazing find in my eyes, like super cool. Okay, I gotta look at the year on this one too, I guess. I just don't know offhand. 1974, and this is a first printing, it looks like. Like, what an amazing find. And this was so cheap too. I have no idea how much it goes for, but I don't care. It's not leaving my collection. This one does have pictures on the inside, but they're not color. They are, almost looks like newspaper clippings, the way they're in here, which is pretty cool. But anyway, yeah. So, one of the coolest finds I've had in terms of novelizations all year, and that cover is phenomenal. I think I was watching another YouTuber, I'll put his name down here, I don't know it offhand, but he's a relatively new channel who does novelizations, and I think I first saw it on his channel, if I'm not mistaken. Either way, check out his channel, it's awesome if you like novelizations like these. He's a really great YouTuber. But anyway, this is Dark Star by Alan Dean Foster, just an awesome find. So the last three today actually come from a related series, not to Dark Star, but they're all related to each other. Anyway, the first one here is the novelization for The Predator. And this one is written by Christopher Golden and Mark Morris. Christopher Golden, another very popular novelization author. Now, this is a movie that I think is severely underrated. People bash on this thing so much, and I just don't get it. I had a really good time with this. This is a movie I randomly watched with my brother-in-law one day. We were just kind of chilling and ended up watching this, and I had a really good time with it. Not my favorite of the Predator series, but I think it's really well done. So this is a book that I needed in order to just add to that Predator Alien collection. So yeah, I was very happy to find this one, and it's in like mint condition, which is awesome too. So this is The Predator, written by Christopher Golden and Mark Morris. I'll show these last two together because, like I said, they're all part of the same universe as Predator, but they're both Alien books. So the first one here is by Tim Laban, Alien Out of the Shadows. And this is I can't remember when this, I think it takes place in between Alien and Aliens, if I'm not mistaken. I'm sure it says it somewhere. Yeah. The official new novel set between the events of Alien and Aliens. And then that one is followed up by Alien, Sea of Sorrows, written by James A. Moore. And this one says the official new novel revealing the secret of Alien. So there's only one more book in this series. I want to say it's also written by Tim Laban, but I'm not 100% positive. That one's actually in my Amazon cart because I don't expect to find it used like I was able to get these. So I'll probably grab that at some point here. It's only like $7.99 or whatever. But I have read Alien Out of the Shadows. I read this one thanks to Audible. I think it was like available on their service. So meaning like as a streaming title, I guess, whatever you want to call it. You don't pay for it. It's just included in your subscription. But anyway, I really enjoyed it. I think I gave it like 4 out of 5 stars, if I'm not mistaken. And so I definitely want to continue the series with Sea of Sorrows and then eventually wrap it up with the third book. This, I can't remember if this is the second or third book, whatever the case is. They're all part of the same trilogy, and either way. So, yeah, but these were really cool finds. I think I got both of these at Second and Charles for a really good deal. So, very happy to add these two to that Alien collection. My Alien and Predator book collection is not huge, but like relatively speaking, it's pretty large for someone who's never like gone on Amazon and tried to purchase it or gone on eBay and purchased anything from that series. I've always just found them used from my local used bookstore, Second and Charles, whatever the case may be. So I've just been very lucky with those. But yeah, happy to add these. This is Alien Out of the Shadows by Tim Laban and Alien Sea of Sorrows by James A. Moore. And those are the last two novelizations or media tie-in books that I've picked up recently. All right, so there it is. Not the biggest stack of books I've ever shared with you guys, but I think it's a pretty fun one. You know, if you watch the channel, media tie-in and novelizations are my favorite things to collect. And I actually have another stack of books over there that I'll share with you guys in the coming weeks here. But I love media tie-in, so I want to hear from you guys down below. Have you read any of these? And if so, what do you recommend? I want to hear from you about this or anything else down in the comments. I appreciate any and all support down there. But as always, if you guys enjoyed this one, go ahead and hit that like button down below. That engagement really does help me out. And like I always say, I don't just talk books, I talk all things media. Books, movies, video games, graphic novels. If it's media related, I'm interested in it. And if you are too, you might consider subscribing. All right, guys, so that's going to do it for today. I just want to say thank you all so much for watching. And I want to encourage you to consume some media today. I'll catch you next time.